Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm actually not doing something necessarily with my plants, but I'm going to be recommending what I think you should watch for in the upcoming Prime Day sales. There's a lot of really good deals that happen over those couple of days, and I always have this big long wish list of things I want to get and try, and the best time to try it is usually during sales. So I like to watch, I put everything into my cart and then save for later, and then I get notifications for when prices drop or rise or whatever. So I've been looking forward to this, and I have some plant products that I'm going to recommend you check out or watch for in the sales that are coming up. I believe it's not next week but the following week, but it could be next week, I can't remember. But if you are an avid Amazon user, I highly recommend taking advantage of these sales. Sometimes they can be a little disappointing because stuff doesn't go on sale that you expected it to, but a lot of more often than not, the stuff that I want to try doesn't go on sale. But these are still products that I would use and buy at full price anyway. It's just kind of a good time to go through and see what is going to be on sale. So the items I have in my cart currently that I would recommend watching for is, one is this, it's a plant pot grid cover. Now if you have cats, this is really good at keeping your cats out of the soil. So I recently took in a stray kitten and she's used to going in soil, so she didn't want to use litter initially, and she kept my really big potted Pulley figs back here. She would get in those pots, and that's where she wanted to go to the bathroom. So I got these plant pot grid covers. All the links will be in the description, by the way. That basically, it's like a plastic netted grid, and you put it, there's a little hole in the middle that you put around the actual stem of the tree, and then there's these little, you put little rods sticking up out of them so that they don't really have anywhere to step. And if they do get into it, then I find what happened with Petunia is that she can't get to the soil to scratch and stuff, and she doesn't like that. So she does now use the cat litter. If it wasn't for these, she would still also use the soil because she was a little bit anyway. So this is really helpful and effective at deterring her from getting into my pots. Probably if there was one thing you had to buy and try out that was for houseplants, it's going to be this plant hook pulley. Now I get them in 4 packs, and what they're really useful for is, instead of having to climb up to your plants that are hanging and take them down or water and then have the water dripping down on the floor or whatever, it's a pulley. You can just pull on it, and it's basically, the pot comes right down, and you can either take it off or you can and then go to the tub, shower it there. That's what I like to do, is I like to pull it down and then hook it onto something, and then take the pot to the bathroom, water it there, let it drain, and then put it back on the pulley and let it go back up. They're really cool. Highly recommend if you have hanging plants and don't want to be standing on random objects. Next up I have, so one of those items actually already went on, it's discounted at the moment. By the way, I'm using Canadian Amazon, and a lot of these products you can find on the American Amazon, but the prices are probably going to be different. So anything I'm recommending you can also find on the American Amazon. I did check, but I'm only going to be liking the Canadian ones. So the next items is the Fiskars Pruners. So I've actually I try to take these with me everywhere, and I all plants and flowers and stuff, like not just indoors. I really love wild lilacs and wild roses, so I actually bring a pair of these with me everywhere I go. And I will, like, if there's like in a ditch or something, then I'll go and take some cuttings off of them and grow them, put them into a pot and try to grow them in my backyard. That's something I started doing this summer. Same with lilac trees. I really love lilacs. I grew up with a really beautiful one in my grandmother's yard, so I kind of always loved it, and it just kind of gives me like that homey feeling. So the two types that I recommend is the Fiskars traditional bypass pruners, and these are kind of the more heavy duty ones. So they can cut through, like, you know, like the rose bushes or the lilacs and like little small branches. Like you can take cuttings from fruit trees. Like I've taken them off of apple trees for my geckos. So yeah, that's what I recommend. The other pair that I recommend is the non-stick soft grip Microtip Pruning. This one's really useful for plants because they're very fine tipped, they're very small, and they don't get sticky. I find that with plants, when you're cutting them, your pieces get really sticky over time, and you have to clean them off with like alcohol. I mean, you should be doing it anyway, but they do get sticky over time, and there gets to be buildup on it. These work really well. They're super easy to clean and wipe off, and because they're so small and narrow, they're a lot easier to get into like into bushier plants and stuff like that. So they're just a bit more delicate, and they work better than the bigger pruners that is kind of hard to get in without damaging any leaves. Next up is these glass spray bottles. So I love spray bottles, and I use them for a lot of different reasons. One reason is for spraying down like my terrariums or cloches or anything high humidity that needs to get sprayed down during the day. That's what I use these for. I actually have an automatic sprayer as well. I'm also going to be making that. I love that thing so much. It saves so much work for me. It's battery operated, so it just automatically sprays. You don't have to pump or anything like that. I had a stroke a few years ago, so it makes my hands and fingers really painful and difficult to use. So I find it really useful in terms of that. It's a lot less frustrating for me, a lot less strenuous. But I also have these glass bottles that I really love, and I can mix up different stuff into it. I might do, well, I actually don't use neem anymore, but that's what I was going to say, is I used to mix up like a neem solution or insecticide soap and use that to spray down for pest prevention. I'd have one bottle for different things. I got a 2-pack, and you can have 2 different things going, your water and your spray. Another thing I really am hoping goes on sale, just because it's a bit more of a high-ticket item. It's $75.99 currently, and it's a 3-gallon Zoo Med Creature Habitat Kit. And the reason I want this is I want to make like a little tabletop terrarium, but I want to make like a moss wall for some of my tiny little Hoyas that prefer the bigger humidity, the higher humidity, such as my Hoya serpens. So I'm hoping that goes on sale. I actually don't have one, but fingers crossed I will after the sale. This isn't like a must-have or anything. I just think it's really cool, and it's a USB cool mist humidifier and nightlight, so it has both. And it's basically like a little pot with a cactus in it, like a fake cactus, and it works as like a nightlight or whatever. I'm night blind. I can't see in the dark whatsoever. I have very poor vision anyway, even during the day. I have a central visual impairment, but at night it's even worse. So I do really like having like motion censored night lights and stuff like that. It just makes it safer and easier for me if I have to get up through the night to find a light switch or whatever. Next up, I have a Super Moss Orchid Sphagnum Moss Dried Bale, and this is listed for $55, which is really good in comparison to some of the stuff. I have a really hard time finding like long fiber sphagnum here. All the stuff that I get or find is like really powdery, but I really like this stuff because it does tend to be like the longer fiber, which is what I'm looking for. So because it is pricier, if it happens to go on sale, I'm definitely going to be picking up quite a few bales because I go through it really quickly too. So I use it for both my geckos and for plants. So next is the Mars Hydro Grow Tent. I love this thing. I got one for downstairs for like my plants that I'm propagating, and because I live in a duplex, I don't have like as much space as someone with a house might have, so it gives me like extra plant space when I run out of window space kind of thing, and it works really well for propagating plants. They've been growing like crazy down there. I'll also link in the description the lights that I use. They're also from Amazon. I have 3 different ones that I recommend, and I'll get into those a little bit later, or they'll be in the description and you can read up and decide which one works best for you. One of them is they're like long bar lights, I guess, and I have that on the top shelf hanging down, and then on the bottom I have, it's more like a light bulb, and this light bulb was actually, I saw it on the Plants Meow, that's where I saw it from, and she was growing like these really gorgeous, amazing, incredible anthuriums with it inside of a greenhouse. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And it does. It works really well. I did the same kind of setup as her, and it's gone really well. And then a more like affordable option is, I think it's a 12-pack of light bulbs. You'd have to buy like something to put the bulb into separately, but because it comes with so many bulbs, and you can pick up like dollar store type plugins and timers for it. That's what I did, and it's just like an easy way to accumulate a lot of grow lights all at once. So I'll be linking those as well. Next up on my list is plant tape. Not plant tape, what am I thinking of? Fabric tape for plants. I like using this for trellises and stuff more so than zip ties, or because again, I find it really hard to use my fingers and my hands and stuff for small motor activities. What I do, fine motor, sorry, not small motor. Fine motor activities are really hard for me. So the plant tape, I find it super easy because if I mess up, I can just very easily undo it again, or if I miss or whatever, I can take it off of the pole very easily. It just pulls off, it's reusable. It's just, there's so many good things about this, and I recently saw them in person, so I won't be ordering any this time because I picked up a ton. They were like $1.25, and I picked up probably 10 rolls of them because they're so good and they're so hard to find sometimes. So I did kind of go a little overboard, but that's fine. And next up are these plastic PVC plastic sheets. I'll link the video in the description below, but I saw this on Planned Parenthood, and it's called her Instagram, it was called the Lazy Moss Pole, and I've been loving them. They're so convenient, they're so easy. You don't have to hack the plant off of it in the end if you need to transplant it or whatever. It's so much easier. I find it easier to keep the moss damp and wet. I just pour through the top and it saturates all the way down. Super easy, super cute. I think it looks better than a normal moss pole personally. So I really love this, and I couldn't find any locally to do it with, so I had to order them off of Amazon. So I will list those below because you get 100 sheets or something. So yeah, definitely worth it. And last but not least, it's something I haven't actually bought yet, so I can't speak to the quality or how well it worked for what I want it for. But it's just something I'm going to be watching for. It's $100. Well, it's $98.27, and it's the Dummy Garment Rack Metal Clothing Rack 4 tiers. And I want that to put in front of this window back here for some hanging plants, and then it also has shelves in the middle and on the bottom. So I'm thinking I'm going to do like a plant arrangement, because I have a lot of plants just like sitting on the floor over here, and I'd like to make it look a little bit more nice. And I've seen other people use like garment racks to hang plants off of, or shelves and stuff, and because I'm in such a small space, I'm always looking for ways to increase plant real estate. So that's something I'm personally watching for, and my fingers are crossed that it goes on sale, because I don't really want to spend $100 on it right now, but if it goes on sale, it will definitely be worth it. I like this one because it has two sides, so 2 sets of bars to hang. The bottom has a shelf, and then up the middle there's shelves, so it's kind of perfect for what I'm looking for. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. Let me know below if you have anything you recommend for plants or plant hacks. I'd love to know and get some more ideas. I love reading and like seeing other people's videos about stuff that they recommend, and it's such a good time to do it when the sale comes on, because you know, the less money you have to spend, the better. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!